Hey guys, I'm Jay Corson and welcome back to Dirt Road Barbecue. We're starting off this weekend with a little trip up to my buddy Chad Hepler's place here with C&D Meat Processing. Chad, how long you been, cutting up meat for?
I'd say close to 30 years now. Just 3 years at the new shop here in Leeper.
Nice. Well, yeah, we're kind of talking a lot about fad meats lately, and this weekend we're trying one of these things that everybody's kind of doing online. It's beef cheeks. They're getting huge, and they're really hard to find because we're just kind of on the brink of this fad. So, my buddy Chad here hooked me up, messaged me today that he had some ready for me. So, Chad's up here. You're doing deer processing, you're doing full cows, half cows, kind of the whole works,
Yep,
right?
everything smokehouse. We're doing the pigs, the brining, the hams, and everything. Had a big Holstein come in today and said perfect place to pull the cheeks out of it and get it on a smoker and see how they turn out.
That's great, man. Well, we really do appreciate it, and hopefully, we can take some time and have some fun by the smoker this week for this video and do this meat that Chad hooked us up with a favor and try and put these to work the best we can. I've heard great things, so we'll do our best to make these as good as we can. So thanks again, Chad. I appreciate it, buddy.
Anytime.
All right. Hey, let's have fun in this video, guys. Let's go. All right, guys and girls, we're back in the garage here. It is still colder than a witch's nipple outside, so we are inside the garage. We've got the heater running, and we're ready to make some damn good meat. I'm gonna bring you over here and show you these beef cheeks. And we've got a set that's pretty big, a set that's a little smaller. It's all right. We got 4 of them. We're gonna do 4 different rubs, seasonings, on these beef cheeks, because we're going to see what ends up being the best. So whenever we make them again, we'll know what direction we want to go in, because this is my first venture, probably your first venture. Let's try a couple of different things here and see what turns out good. Come on over. Let's get these rubbed up. Okay, so I've got a pan here we're working on top of, because I want all these drippings, because we're going to braise these after they get the bark that we like, and they're around 165 internal. We're going to be putting these down in the liquid mixed with some beef tallow and some beef broth. So I want this pan to catch all these drippings. We've got a rack on top. We're going to catch every little bit that comes out of this meat. So with my 2 big ones, I'm going to go with what I think is going to be the best. I'm going to use what I think is going to go well on the big ones, and 2 rubs that I'm not sure how it's going to turn out on these smaller ones. So start off with the one. We're gonna try Meat Church's Holy Cow on one of these. And I think that with the beef, just kind of doing it like you would brisket or a steak or something is probably gonna be the best bet on these. But we're gonna try some different stuff here and see just how wrong I am about that. I've been wrong before. It would be the first time this year, but there's no sense in not trying something new. Sometimes you'll surprise yourself with some of these cooks. You think something's not going to work, and you can cook just about as much meat as you want to, and some things will still surprise you at the end of the day if you get a little creative. You might find your new favorite way to do something, or a seasonal thing that you like a certain way. You never know with this stuff. So we're just gonna go in and rub these with a different one on every one of these. Now on this other big one, I'm gonna go in with Meat Church's Blanco. It's kind of a heavy garlic, kind of, the Holy Cow's more of a high coarse pepper and salt. This is more of a fine, kind of higher on the onion, and I don't know if it has onion powder in it, but a lot of garlic powder. So we're going to go in with this on this one. I'm not going to go super heavy with this one, because I don't want, I think if I go too heavy, it's going to over garlic it, and all you're going to taste is garlic in it. So I'm not going to put, a layer of icing on top of this one. I just want a nice dusting on these. Go across these. And you know, that meat, that holy cow one that we did first is probably going to bark up the best, because it's that seasoning is made for bark. That's, you know, what we're predominantly using on briskets now around here. It barks up real nice. It's got that coarse, you know, high coarse pepper that likes to give you that crunch on the outside. I think my money's on that one ending up being the best one, but you know, I'll be entertained to see if I'm wrong. Go ahead and pat that in. Okay, so those are our first two. Now, our exploratory ones, if that's what you want to call them. I'm going to do a hot one. I'm just going to see. I want to do something different. This is my favorite. I use this rub all the time on stuff, mainly after it's done cooking. I don't use this as a rub very much. If I do, I put it down as a first binder layer. But we're going to see. I'm going to do one of these cheeks just with that on it, and we're going to see. Chad did a great job trimming these up for us, by the way. You know, if you buy these from somebody else, you're probably going to have to trim some of the silver skin and the fat off the outside of these to get them correct. But Chad did us right. He's got these things, you know, ready to go on the smoker pretty much. Chad knows what he's doing. I really, you know, Chad's a super nice guy. If you're in our area and you need something processed, you know, you buy a whole cow, you know, if you are looking for, you know, a good place to get your meat at, to get somebody to process it, I highly recommend Chad. Super nice guy, super down to earth, just a normal guy. You know, he's doing that out of his garage up there in Leeper, Pennsylvania, and super nice to me. Hooked me up. Go and give him a shout, give him a call, ask him some questions. It's nice to have these resourceful people around to help you out whenever you're trying to, you know, do something different or get some of the same old, same old. So, our fourth one, I'm going to do a sweet one here. We're going to do it kind of like we do pulled pork. We're going to use Killer Hogs, the barbecue rub. It's got a, you know, nice essence of brown sugar sweetness. I don't know how this one's going to turn out. I think this one might be the second best one. I think this is going to be good. We'll see how rich these beef cheeks are at the end of this. But I think the sweet is going to go pretty nice on here. If I had one dud, I think the hot one might be a little bit in your face. Might not match with the, you know, the beef so much. But my money is this being probably the second best one. This one I would have the most... I would pick it as my, you know, dark horse in this. I think this could end up being the best one. But I wouldn't put all my money on it. But if I had to pick a sleeper, I would pick this one. So, dust these up real nice. I want a nice thick layer of that stuff on. I'd really like to see this have a nice sweet bark. So we're just going to pat that in real nice and thick. And give her just a little presentation dust there. So that's all I'm doing. You know, these are going to set for a couple of minutes here while they the moisture soaks into these rubs. I've got the Traeger outside cranked up to 250 degrees. I don't think you guys really care to see me set this on the smoker, but it's going to go on at 250. I'm going to stick a probe in a big one, stick a probe in a small one. These are probably going to cook about the same. These are going to probably cook about the same. And I've only got 2 probes that are working right now. So, one in the big one in the small one. Around 165, these should be barked up real nice. And we'll be back to do the next step of this, show you how we're going to braise these up. See you in a few. Okay, guys. So, a little update. Getting a little ahead of ourselves on these smaller ones. Still waiting for those big ones to come up to 10. So, just to save our bark, I'm going to go ahead and spritz these down. Got some vinegar and Worcestershire sauce. I'm just going to moisten those up so we don't char anything. Protect our bark. We'll even give those guys back there a squirt or 2. Sorry, I'm filming while doing something here. Okay guys, we're at that 165 mark here. I'm gonna turn this down to 225. I don't know, probably it took maybe 2.5, 3 hours probably to get these up to 165. I wasn't pushing them, so was in no rush. You could probably speed them up a little bit if you wanted to. But here is a look at some nice bark. You know, these are barked up real nice, got a real nice dark look to them. They are, you know, they've got some squish to them, so they're pretty tender. They're gonna fall apart here. So we've got our pan. You could use an aluminum foil pan, whatever. I'm just gonna pull these probes out because they don't work real well underneath the foil and stuff. So I'm just gonna take these, I'm gonna set them in here just like so. And then what here I have is just beef broth. Went ahead and melted some beef tallow into it, and then I chopped up an onion and threw in there just for some flavor. And we're gonna go ahead and braise these up in this. Just dump that in there like that. The liquid's already hot. And spread these onions out in there. And I'm gonna come back and throw some aluminum foil over it. But just like this, we're just gonna braise these in that liquid for until we get to about 200 to 205. Okay guys, so we're all done and braised up here. We hit 203 degrees. They've been on for quite a while, so I you know, gave her the field test. These things are gonna fall apart, I have no doubt about it. Just the feel of them, probe test, they are falling apart. So let's bring you on over here and we'll pull these out of here and see just what we come up with here. All right guys, so I am so excited to try these. We've got them all done here. Clean probe pull. We're just gonna scoot this over just a little bit, bring this cookie sheet over here and get these out of this braising liquid. And so there we've got our Holy Cow, we've got our Blanco, this one is our Bayou blend, and this one is the barbecue rub. This is a sweet one. So let's move all this stuff here over. And let's just see how these come apart. Oh yeah. Just falling apart. Real nice and tender. Oh yeah. Okay, so let's back up. Let's get some bites. So these are really falling apart. You know, it's kind of like, this is just like having a chuck roast. So consistency wise, I don't know what it's going to taste like yet, but so we've got the Holy Cow. That's pretty good. You know, it's just like butter. I mean, there's nothing to them. I mean, they've got a nice smoke ring inside them. And they're kind of like a really good chuck roast. They got like a little bit more, kind of almost like a steaky, like a meaty, you know, like a thicker meaty flavor to them. A little bit more bite. But they're really good. I'm gonna go in here, and this will be the Meat Church Blanco. And just to show you a little bit closer up, you know, we've got a nice coloring on this meat. Probably can't see it because my garage lights suck. They're from an angle, but we've got a nice smoke ring in there. It's really good meat. Kind of when I smelled it, and I think it might have just been, the more I was smelling the braising liquid. But I didn't think the meat was going to taste. I thought it was almost going to be like a rib. Kind of with a little bit too much richness. But these are really good. The fat broke down really good. Yeah. Surprisingly enough, the Blanco, I like the Blanco better than the Holy Cow right now. That's my 2 cents at this point. So, this one is going to be... I believe that this one is the barbecue rub. So this is the sweet one. Pretty sure. Let's try it. Yeah, that's really good. The smaller ones, I think, broke down a little bit more. Maybe the bigger ones, which even though they're reading 203, I hate to take them much longer, but that one's in number one, I think. I think that one's number one right now. That was my dark horse. That was my sleeper. And here we have the Bayou Blend. So this is going to be the one with a little jazz on the end. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really do much. I mean, not a whole, I don't know, maybe just kind of like the heat, which is what I'm expecting out of that rub, died out from the amount of fat in these and the braising liquid, maybe toned it down. But it's good, but that's not the one. The barbecue rub, beef cheek. Surprisingly, I had my doubts about it, but it was my sleeper, and I think that's the best one. I really do. These would be awesome to make a sandwich out of. Kind of like if you've ever used chuck roast to make like a sandwich with like provolone cheese or pepper jack cheese on it, or like a brioche bun. These would be so good on a sandwich. I'm just not doing bread right now because I'm on a diet, but that's killer. Just melt in your mouth. I'm Jay Corson. This is Dirt Road Barbecue. These are beef cheeks. Thanks again to my buddy Chad Hepler for hooking us up at C&D Processing. Hit him up. Find him on Facebook. I'll tag him in this video, but you got to hit Chad up. Appreciate it again for this delicious cut of meat here. I'm Jay Corson, and that'll do.